Good morning from a still frustrated Mackham cabbie on this chilly Monday morning. Aye, that Coventry City game. Oh man, talk about a roller coaster of emotions, you know what I mean? You're on such a high 1 minute and then you're just so like fed up. I think the reasons why is because here it's Coventry City, they're like an enemy. We just so much want to beat them. Got this hoodoo over us for all these years. B, it was how amazing we were in the first half, and them goals were scored. Absolute Premier League quality. And then the second half, full time whistle goes in. That's just rubbed everything out in the first half. It was like, it's nice to look back at the Sunderland goals, but it's not the same, is it? Looking back at Sunderland goals when you've not won the game. Maybe it's not bad if you suppose if you were 2-0 down and then you brought it back to 2-2. But just the way it happened, it's just totally took the shine off that superb performance in the first half. You know, and once again, the strength of depth seems to be lacking in Sunderland. Because since we've had Bellingham suspended, we ain't won. You know, and what annoys me, right, is every single time Sunderland get a player injured, like a good player, right? A good player injured or suspended, we capitulate. We're going to the dogs. We're a mess. We're not the side we were. When we playing great football with a full strength squad, we can beat anybody. But once we get, even if it's just that one player out, that vital player like Bellingham, we're all over the place. You know, we've gone from top of the league form to start playing like we're playing 4th or 5th off bottom. Do you know what I mean? That second half and that match against Preston, even long periods of match against QPR, were sloppy. It was like the old Phil Parkinson, Jack Ross days, or Dodds, or Bale. It had shades of that. It was like, what is doing? Every single time Sunderland have an injury or a player suspended or out like that, we just fall to bits. Do you know what I mean? I mean, does Sheffield United not have that problem, or Leeds? It's no, because everybody says, well, every team in the division at some point has to go through a suspension on the lose one of their good players. But I don't know. I'll have to. Sheffield United, Leeds, and stuff, and Burnley, have they got a really good, solid squad on the bench? Because it doesn't seem to be. We have. I mean, Connolly comes on, and Isidore gets shoved to the side. He's our star striker at the minute, and Connolly gets on to take his place, and Isidore goes out left or something. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I'll keep on saying this as well. Connolly, he's doing nought for me at all when he comes on. I didn't get excited when you see Connolly's name come on and he's running onto the pitch. Because somebody please tell me, what does he bring on that for that team? Do you know what I mean? Because as far as I'm concerned, nought. And people might say, well, am I being a bit harsh here and all that? But, well, no. If you're seriously about wanting to get promoted and keep your top of the league status or your top 2, then we cannot afford to have mediocre players, or players that are just not performing. We might as well have had Will Grigg up front. But also, our manager, Regis Labrie, is going to take a bit of criticism. Why didn't he bring Mayenda on? Leave Connolly off? I mean, what does he see in Connolly? We still haven't seen a Lesich player. Because Coventry City weren't all that. That's what annoys me. Do you know what I mean? That they were. We just destroyed them that first half. You know, and what causes that chalk or cheese performance to being like world beaters from the first half to that in the second? I don't know. But once again, it just looks like the suspensions and whatnot are gonna screw Sunderland over. They're gonna they're gonna fall from that first top of the league. That's how it feels like. And I know we are still top of the league, but I just kind of see, until Bellingham comes back, I just kind of see where the next win's going to come from. If we're going to be putting Connolly up front, and Isadore's going to get shifted out onto the left, which he's not his position. This is why it's vitally important that we really dip into that transfer window in January and get our strength, get our squad beefed up. Keep on saying about, you know, Jordan Henderson, but we need a player like that, because, you know, you can't go a season without suspensions and injuries and things like that. And it just seems to happen with Sunderland when you're missing a vital player. You know, we don't go just slightly off form. We take it to the extremes. We just dip. We're awful. It's like we're gone 8 or 9 games without a win, 10 games without a win every time we miss a player, because for years we've had no depth, we've had no strength in the squad. We start losing players, and then we start playing like a third off bottom team, and it's like every team now that seems to play Sunderland coming up, and they're getting a point or 3. In the past, it's been with Sunderland, and it seems to be carrying on now. Yes, I know we didn't lose, but look, how many more draws are we going to say? Well, we still haven't been beaten. We're doing all right. We still haven't lost. Well, so if we draw the next 3 or 4 games, are we going to turn around and say, well, we still haven't lost? Because if you're happy with just drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing, then obviously you're not asked about being in the top 2 or challenging to get back into the Premier League. Because I'm telling you now, Sheffield United and Leeds, yes, they lose the odd one, but the majority they'll come good. They'll pick themselves up, and they'll get win after win after win. I mean, look at Sheffield United, 4 on the bounce. They just don't stop. They just don't lie down. You cannot afford to be drawn, or going through a really bad patch. Because like I say, when Sunderland do go through a bad patch, it's a bad patch, and it goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks when we're missing our players. I says to Gary Bennett on Total Sport, I says, do you think we're going to miss Bellingham that? And Gary Bennett went, no, I think we'll be all right. We've got enough to cover. Far from it. Far from it. Since Bellingham has not played for Sunderland, since his suspension, we've had nought in that middle. I mean, when you watch your highlights, Bellingham, he's all over the pitch. He's there, he's here, he's there. He's like that rock in the Sunderland side. And my God, do we miss him? But this is the problem, season after season after season. You do lose at some part of the season a really strong talisman, a really strong player. But with Sunderland, it's like taking the few bricks out when you're playing Jenga and you take the main bricks out the bottom. You just fall to pieces. Do you know what I mean? Preston, like I say, the Preston game, I didn't get excited hardly once. Second half, the Coventry match, it was just awful. Like I said, we're at home in front of 43,000 people. It's our fortress. And yet Coventry in the second half took over and silenced the stadium. Like, you could hear a pin drop. Sunderland had no urgency, intensity. They looked lost of ideas. Do you know what I mean? And we're just, I don't know. It's like we came out that second half thinking we've already won the game. And now we're in that position. How many players have we got? Oh, we're missing now for Millwall. Is it 6 or 7 or something? I don't know. I don't know. It's just annoying. Like I say, I keep going back to that's why we need to strengthen our squad. If you're wanting top 2 or even the top 6, if you're going again for playoffs, then you've got to have a decent bench. You've got to have backup, and Sunderland yet again for another season don't have that. Because we've got O'Shea's, we've got Roosin, we've got Connolly, and I'm sorry, like, they are not quality material. They are not going to make a difference in that squad to keep Sunderland consolidated in the top 2 or even in the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're no good. They're not good enough for our level, for what we're wanting to do this season. And I keep saying it happens every single season. We get injuries. We're missing this player and that, this and that and the other. And we're just all over the place. And that's what's annoying. It doesn't seem to affect the likes of a Leeds or the Sheffield Uniteds or the Burnies or the Ipswiches in the past. I mean, how many seasons now we've been in the Championship where the top 2 seem to be running away with the league? Do you know what I mean? I know Leicester City, they won the champions. They got the title of the Championship. And they went through a bad spell. I think how many games they went without a win. But they picked themselves up. And I think they won about 5 or 6 on the trot or something like that. With Sunderland, when they collapse, that's it, they collapse. So we need to sort this out, because I'm sick. It's the hope that kills you. It's the hope that kills you. I just didn't want this game of 2 halves coming in again. Because I'm just sick to death. I've seen enough Sunderland performances where it's an amazing first half and we're absolutely just crap just second half. I mean, I could understand, yes, you're not going to keep that tempo up for the full 90 minutes, but we're just gone from chalk or cheese. We're gone from amazing to absolutely dreadful. I mean, what happens in the changing rooms at half time? What gets said? People saying, Cabby, you're having a right whinge this morning, but I'm just going on what I'm witnessing here, and what I'm saying is just sort out your strength and depth in that squad. Because if you didn't, and if every time Sunderland are having to dip in to mediocre players to put in that first team, then it's going to hamper Sunderland's season after season after season, and you're not going to be able to challenge for the top 2, at least, until we sort out the strength and depth. And I don't know, we've got to try and sort out as well this yellow card business. It's like, we just seem to, we seem to be averaging 2 or 3 yellow cards a game, every game. It's just, that's got to stop, sort itself out. I mean, I would just, I don't know, I would dive into the challenges too much. What we're doing, it's like, dissent, how many times do we see Sunderland players getting yellow carded, sent off for back chatting the referee? It's like, drill it into the players' heads, you know. It's the era of football now where you cannot back chat with the referee or you get a card. You know what I mean? It needs addressed. It needs addressed. We've got to stop getting all these yellow cards every single game. And it's getting to a stage where there's only 2 or 3 minutes gone and there's a yellow card branded. It's like people have just sitting the backsides down on the seats. You know, the Bodville's still hot in the hand. You know what I mean? 2 minutes gone, yellow card for Sunderland. Straight away. So straight away, that player's got to be cautious. Just need to stop it, man. And now we've got the international break. Do you know what? This time I'm sort of pleased in a way. Because hopefully that, well, I'm saying reset button because we still haven't got Bellingham for the Millwall game. I'm not going to go round in circles. I've said what I've said. You know, I'm passionate. That's why I'm fed up at the minute, because I'm passionate. 3 points from 3 games to me is not good enough, and I'm not having it saying like we're still unbeaten. Yeah, we are still unbeaten. But deep down inside, take a look at yourself. Seriously, are you happy with 3 points out of 3 from where we are in the position in the league? Because I'm not. No. Anyway, catch us tonight on the Mackem Cabby and Davey show, and I'm sure we'll have a good crack on about that later. From the Mackem Cabby, have a good Monday if you can. See you later.